So I've got the template on the screen here, but actually all these lines are not going to get in the way. This just tells me I've got the right template on the screen, so actually I'm going to delete this. I can either click individual pieces and delete them, or drag a box across the whole section and delete that. And I'm going to put in a new template for myself. Now I've said that my fish, I want it to be 6 centimeters long and 4 centimeters deep. So I draw my box, and then down in the bottom corner dimensions, I don't need to click in the box to type. I put in 6, 4. Now this template is in centimeters, so I don't need to put 6 centimeters and 4 centimeters. Okay. Because I've told it it's going to be in centimeters, it knows that's going to be centimeters. So if I click the enter button on the keyboard, so I'm not clicking anything on the mouse, the enter button on the keyboard, I've now got a box here that's 6 centimeters by 4 centimeters. If I edit undo that, I could, when I'm drawing my rectangle, put other units in. So I could put in 6 millimeters, 4 millimeters. If I include the units and click enter, that'll make a much smaller box, because that's 6 millimeters by 4 millimeters. If I undo that again and I click here and I just put in 6, 4, I don't need to put the units in for centimeters. It thinks, oh, that's centimeters. Now the easiest way to draw is looking down on something. I'm going to draw a flat line, so I'm going to go to the camera and a standard view and look down on it from the top. And I'm going to use this button down here, the magnifying glass with the red arrows on it, to make it fill the screen. Now I want to put some more lines in to help me draw a nice shape. So I've got my box. That's showing me how big the fish is going to be in total. And I'm going to put some more lines in. We call these sort of lines construction lines. And they make it easier to draw. It's worth spending the time putting the lines in. So first thing I'm going to put in a midpoint line. And see, when I hover the pencil, it stops and tells me that's the midpoint. So I know that my fish should be the same roughly on the top and on the bottom. I also want some midpoint lines here. Again, I hover down to get the midpoint, and another midpoint line. So this is now the middle of that section, and go down to there. And the reason I'm putting this in is because, roughly speaking, I want my head, my tail, and I really want most of the fish, the middle section, to be where the headphones go. So I've got a quarter for the head, a quarter for the tail, and about half of it to put the headphones in. So I'm just giving myself some guidelines to help me. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work out exactly like that, but it just gives you some guidelines to think of. So that's my first section. I now want to start drawing my basic fish shape, and to do that I'm going to draw it by drawing 2 arcs. An arc is a shape like sort of a semicircle, but can be as broad or flat as I want. So I'm going to start, I'm going to do the top one. I start in the middle, I draw the one end of the arc, draw the second end of the arc, and then I can chop up here, and that gives me my rough fish shape. Top, same thing on the bottom, click, click, click again, and that now gives me my rough fish shape here. Second thing I want to draw, I've got my rough fish shape, is now I want to start drawing my tail on. I'm going to use the arc again, exactly the same tool. Now notice it's going the wrong way. Okay, it's going out that way. If that happens, all it means I need to do is start at the bottom, and then it'll come inwards. Now the next bit of my tail, I think I'm going to go for the midpoint here. So again, click there, and I'm at the midpoint, and there's my tail. So now I've got a head, I've got a tail sort of shape here, and I've got my middle section here for the spines I want to put my headphone onto. And again, I need to now decide how many spines, how many ribs I want here to wrap my headphone onto. Okay? And whether I want them evenly spaced apart. So I might decide I want 3, or I might decide I want 4, or I might decide I want 5. Okay, so the next stage is to decide exactly how much of that I want to put there, and then measure out so they're nice and evenly spaced.